Hello there, my name's Grace and I'm an actress and performing artist in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I just came back from Kuching for the Sarawak Rainforest World Music Festival. It was really amazing, especially to be surrounded by beautiful nature, Mount Santubong, and listening to live music at the same time. But anyways, this video is about Bako National Park, specifically for day trippers. And okay, so I'm gonna cover 5 different things in this video. So number 1, is it worth it? Number 2, how to get there? Number 3, what to wear or bring? And number 4, what to be mindful of? And number 5, some extra tips. Okay, so let's jump right in. Number 1, is it worth it? So you know that the answer is yes, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video. But to answer your question more honestly and seriously, okay, because I have been on a lot of different nature trails and hikes around West Malaysia, so I would say that this trail is nothing out of the ordinary, although there are certain types of wildlife that you see in Bako that you won't see elsewhere in Malaysia. But it's a really beautiful hike. The scenery is great, so I would still recommend it. But the real kicker was going to look at the sea stacks. That's this rock formation. That was absolutely gorgeous. So for that, I would say yes, it is very, very worth it. And it doesn't cost that much to head to Bako anyway, so yes, definitely worth it. Okay, number 2, how to get there. There are a few ways you can go. Number 1, the cheapest is by taking a public bus. There's a bus called Bus Asia Route 1, also known as Biara Mas Route 1, and this is a red-colored bus that leaves from outside Electra House, which is close to the open-air market of Kuching town. And this costs 3 ringgit for Malaysians and 5 ringgit for foreigners. But also, I know that a couple that I spoke to said that they only paid 1 ringgit and they're from the UK, so I'm not sure. Be prepared to pay anywhere between nothing to 5 ringgit. Let's just put it that way. And this will take about 45 minutes to an hour, so it could be a little long depending on how many stops the bus takes. But you can also take, from the same location itself, you can take a shared van. But the thing about the van is that you have to wait for between 5 to 7 people and then the van will go. So it's 30 ringgit one way for the entire van. So if you share that between 7 people, it's between like 4 to 5 ringgit per person. The benefit of the van is that you go directly there, so it takes just about half an hour. And another way that you can go is by Grab or by taxi. So this will be about 60 ringgit one way. It's a little bit expensive, definitely. We went by car, so we rented a car. Car rentals in Kuching are about between 120 to 150. Ours was 110. And the drive is pretty scenic, so that's another option as well. All right, once you're at the ferry terminal, an important note is that try to go early to the ferry, because I mean, you don't have to go like super early at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or something, but go between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. If you go later than 11 a.m., the boat might not take you there, because if there are not enough tourists at the jetty or at the ferry terminal, the boat will not leave. So you'll have to end up renting a rent a private boat, which will cost about 200 ringgit return, and that's like just so not worth it, right? We were somehow very lucky, because even though we arrived, so there was the 2 of us, so we arrived at like 11:45 a.m., which is already super late, and we were lucky enough that there was another British couple who arrived at like 12 noon, who also, you know, are as like chill as us, and so we were able to leave in a boat with them. It costs 40 ringgit per person return for the boat, so that's pretty cheap, and it's 20 ringgit for the park entry ticket for foreigners and 10 ringgit for locals. So the boat ride is about 20 minutes, and it's a pretty chill boat ride, I would say. So you will be dropped off at the place where the trail starts, and then you have to make your way. It's really easy signage, but you have to make your way to the park headquarters, where you will need to register your name and your telephone number. And this is important for your own safety, because in case like you get lost at the park, then they know that like how to keep track of you, right? And also when you are at the park headquarters and you've signed in already, you will receive this map right here, which will tell you about all the different trails, which I will go into later on. What's next? Number 3, what to wear or what to bring. Good news is that at Bako National Park there are no leeches, because Malaysian forests are known to have leeches in West Malaysia, but for some reason at Bako National Park there are none, so you don't have to be worried about that. It does rain though, so bring an umbrella or a raincoat or a hat. And inside the trail, like when you're hiking, it can get really humid, like super sweaty, so you might want to get some like climate cool material stuff when you're hiking. And yeah, bring your own food and water, especially if you're on a budget, because food and water at Bako is twice the price of that in Kuching town. Number 4, what to be mindful of. Crocodiles. This one like totally freaked me out, I have to say. There have been numerous reports of crocodile attacks at Bako National Park, so if you're thinking of like bringing your swimsuit, just don't take the risk. It's super not worth it. Yeah. Okay, so number 5, tips. How to get the most out of your day trip at Bako National Park. I would recommend you to have a conversation with your boat driver before you leave, and just let him know that, hey, we want to, like after the hike, you know, on the way back, we want to take a tour of the sea stacks. And obviously you will need to discuss this with the other people who are taking the same boat as you as well. We want to go on a tour of the sea stacks. It will be like a half-hour tour. It is absolutely gorgeous. The view is amazing. The sun is beautiful, but you know, even if it was raining, it would have been beautiful anyways. It can cost between 50 ringgit to 100 ringgit. So usually the boatman said that usually he charges like 98 ringgit, but since there were only 4 of us in the boat, he charged us 46 ringgit for the sea stack tour. And that works up to be about 12 ringgit per person, which is so worth it for the gorgeous scenery that you will see. So I would highly recommend that. Okay, the next tip is about the different types of hikes you can take. So the 2 main hikes, because it's a little bit confusing when you look at the website, there are like so many different trails, right? And so for day trippers, let me just simplify it for you. There are 2 main trails that are the most popular ones because of the time that it will take, right, to complete the trail. Other trails are just a little bit too long. So the first trail is called Tanjung Paku, and that's the one we took. It took us a total of like 1.5 hours there and back, because it's just like 800 meters from the headquarters itself. So it's a really easy trail where you get to see proboscis monkeys, and you will end up at a beach, you know, when you finish the trail. The beach is absolutely gorgeous. You can see like rock formations, as well as really amazing hermit crabs, as well as fiddler crabs, which I've never seen before, which were super cool. And the other really popular trail is called Tanjung Pandan Kecil, and this is a 3-hour hike there and back. And this is where you can look at the sea stack. So it's a lookout point to look at those sea formations, and I have heard really good things about this trail before, but it is a little bit of a harder trail. It's a lot of incline, and when it rains it can get slippery, so you have to keep that in mind. Okay, the third tip is if you want to see a proboscis monkey up close, the best place to view them would be outside the park headquarters near the beach. And so it's right at the entrance, you know, when you walk up the stairs towards the park headquarters. They will be hanging around the trees on both sides of the entrance. And that is apparently the best place that you can see the proboscis monkeys. I managed to see one. It was a really huge one. And yeah, they were like really cool and interesting looking. And yeah, you can see like long-tailed macaques. I don't know if I'm pronouncing them correctly, macaques as well. at the park headquarters entrance. And yeah, those are all the tips, and I hope that this video has been informative, helping you to go to Bako National Park with confidence. And yeah, that's all from me. So let me know in the comments below if you went, if you had a good time, what you enjoyed, what kind of wildlife that you saw, and yeah, more about your experience in Kuching and in Malaysia. That's all for now. Enjoy your travels. Bye!